didn't see you guys here. My name is Sam C. Welcome to the first solo Thursday, as you can see from the top right thing in the corner. Welcome in everyone on the stream right now, and those of you that are slowly filing in. So this is one of the 3 shows we have during the month of April during this entire COVID lockdown. On Tuesdays we have the quiz show. On Saturday we have the wrestling RPG. But tonight, Thursday, this is solo Thursday. It's just gonna be me, my moderator, and you guys in the camera at home. That's all we have for this show. And every week I'm doing something different. And this week, it's Jack of the Road. So this is the show that I was planning to bring to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this year. Until we learned yesterday that the Edinburgh Fringe Festival was cancelled. So since I can't bring it like thousands of miles across the world, I should now bring it thousands of meters across homes in Singapore and across the world as well. So this is what this show is about. Over the last 8 years of my comedy career, I have catalogued every venue I've performed in. There's 183 venues, and there's 183 fascinating stories about life, the road, and the people in it. For example, right now, as you can see, we are in the Merry Lion. In this venue itself, there's been a lot of crazy stories. Like I've seen a Filipino woman curse out the guy who put Bill Cosby on notice and started the Me Too movement. I also chased out 2 people having sex in our toilets by playing Majula Singapura on loop. I have also performed here naked, but that wasn't a show. Wink. For legal purposes, I did not have sex in this bar. Not yet. But those are the kind of stories that you are in store for. There's 183 of them. Here's the thing though, these are stories. They're not all gonna be like, hey, ha ha ha, great, punchline at the end. Some of them are depressing. Some of them are sad. Some of them don't end well. If they all ended well, this would be a comedy show. It's like, if this all ended well, this would be a TED Talk. I apologize. I'm trying to do the fucking lines I do from the actual show. It doesn't work like this, gang, because you're there and I'm here. And so I'm just gonna talk to you like this. And I'll be frank with you, this is not the first time I'm performing to nobody in the audience. We had to do this. Oh shit, that's a story in the show, I can't spoil it yet. You have to choose the Fort Canning story. So, we also realized one thing while we were developing the show. By we, I mean I. There's 183 stories, and normally I would say, hey, pick any random story. Here's the thing, some of the stories are kinda shit. So, what we have done to make it better, we have some recommended stories. So you write over here, bing. So these are the recommended stories with some sort of teaser words to kind of get you interested. Now, you don't have to choose any of these stories. You can choose any number between 1 to 183. Some of them, I'll be honest, are better than these stories. Most of them, not as good. So that's just a heads up. Also, if you're wondering why the show is called Jack of the Road, I originally wanted to call the show King of the Road based on the song King of the Road sung by Dean Martin, popularized by a lot of people. However, I felt it was a bit too to call a show King of the Road, and then some people suggested Queen of the Road, but I'm like, this is not really a gay show, so I was like, let's go one step down, Jack of the Road. Like, I'm a knave, I'm learning, I'm a journeyman, I'm a Jack of the Road. And then I realized it sounded like I'm masturbating a highway. Also, last year's show is called Coming Out Loud, so that's 2 years in a row of jizz-based puns. So look forward to next year's show, insert cock pun here. So, I'm not gonna dilly-dally any further. I've done 5 minutes of introduction. That's all you need, kids. So, in a bit, I'm gonna ask you guys to put a number in the chat, a number that you want to hear the story of. My moderator will be looking through the chat on the top left and picking one of them. But also, while you watch the show, if you really enjoyed the story, or you just really enjoy everything, please consider giving a tip at the top right. We need the money to pay for the camera and the food and my moderator's pornography. It's a very hard life for us, gang. So, without further ado, please put in your numbers now. I'm sitting here hoping people are putting in their numbers, so I'm not just like, please put in your numbers. There's a number between 1 to 183. I should have probably like had a little thing that says 1 to 183. But we're working this out together. Are there any numbers coming in yet?
Yes, there are.
Okay, is it more than one number?
It's the same number over and over again. It's the number 69.
Okay, well, let me go and write this down. You can take away the recommended. Now, I am not fond of venue 69, not because it's not as a bad venue, but we have done this show 6-7 times. and every fucking time someone chooses 69 because you are all a bunch of unimaginative fucks. Now, I actually have my notebook here to actually tell me about all of the venues in the show. Sorry, of this book. This was given to me by my very good friend Jackie at a gay party. It was a Christmas Day party where there was a Secret Santa. Special one though. You could ask what you wanted in your Secret Santa, and I said I wanted something to do with beer or cheese or something cute. And then he got me a notebook with the Joker smiling like a maniac. Which goes to show you, doesn't matter if you're straight or gay, men are shit at listening. So, I don't even need to consult the book for this one. 69 is the Good Heavens Bar in Tokyo, Japan. Go write this down. Heavens. I am writing horribly. I wrote really nicely just now and now it's bad. Yeah, gotta write slowly on chalk. Heavens. Bar. Alright, you perverts, that's what you get. The Good Heavens Bar in Tokyo, Japan. It's a really simple story. I was doing a show there while I was touring Tokyo with a very good friend of mine. His name is Kira. The man has no sense of direction and eternal optimism, which is a horrible tour partner to have if you're a stand-up comedian. Because you're a stand-up comedian, you need to get somewhere on time and you're pessimistic about life. And this guy just, oh, sunshines and lollipops, and I'm like, fuck you, I'm not getting paid. So we get lost on our way to the Good Heavens Bar, of course, because addresses in Japan, as the Japanese people in the chat can attest to, fucking confusing. There's like 3 numbers and none of them make any goddamn sense, and that's why they lost the war. But the Good Heavens Bar is on the 2nd floor. It is a London-themed bar. Repeat, a London-themed bar. It is not a pub. A pub is nice with beer and all the leather cushions and the wood and all of the sense of colonialism. This is a London-themed bar. So it's just a bar with pictures of London on it. It's not that fucking imaginative. It's a fun place though. It's mainly a lot of expats. If you're a comic and you want to perform in Japan, you're just gonna see a lot of white weebs. There's a lot of expat weebs that went there that just wants to say oishimasu or some shit like that. The show itself was good. I saw a black guy call another black guy in the audience an N-word in Japan, which is a lovely realization. Now you realize this story isn't that good. That's because I don't want to make it good, because you want to imaginative fucks choose 69. So here's what you're gonna get instead. Instead of that, I'm gonna tell you why 69 is the worst sexual position for gay people to do. Now, here is why. Now, if you're a guy and a girl, you're going on your bit, you're having a good time. Guy on guy, fucking shit. Here's why. Here's a bottle of beer. I will demonstrate. Imagine that this, if you're looking down at it, this is the top of your penile point. It's the bottom part. Do anything here, useless. It is pointless, absolutely pointless. The bottom part, that's where the goods are. At the brag here, there's something called I believe the frenulum, or the frenulum. Yeah, so that's where all the nerve endings are in your body. So that's where the joy parts are. You go a bit of happy, you be happy. Now here's the problem. When you are 69ing with another gentleman, you're going in at the angle where your tongue is on this side. You're on the boring side. You're on the boring side of the mullet. The fun part of the mullet is here. You're on this boring end of the mullet. So it's just a lot of this, and your tongue keeps going up to try to touch it, but it's not quite getting there. It is limited by the bottom of your mouth because that's as far as the tongue can go. Yeah, so if you are homosexual, or you are a homosexual to be, or homosexual in training, please do not 69. Take turns. Tag team it out. Be patient about it. Form an orderly queue in a fashion 1 meter apart from the other gay guy in the room, and then you do the dude in a nice, polite way. Also, in Japan, I had sex so badly, I bled for 3 days out of my butt. And that's why you should not 69, but not go straight to anal. Yep, and that was the story. How many people have we lost, Nicholas?
Like 2.
Jesus Christ, really? Only 2? You bunch of perverts. Okay, fine. Well, let's get the recommended list back up. We're gonna have another venue. Please, not 169, you unimaginative fucks. No 169, no 96, no, there's no 196, thank God. Is there any other sexual numbers I do not know of?
Nah, that's all of them.
No 6 to the power of 9, which is not on this list as well. Alright. Oh yeah, normally in this show we choose 10 numbers and then the show's over, but because by the power of live streaming, I'm gonna go till I wanna stop. or until you all leave the stream, which I think the latter is more likely. Alright, so the recommender is up. Can we get more new numbers? Meow.
Oh, we have this guy from YouTube. His username is N99. So let's just do 99.
M99. Did you ask for 99?
Yeah, N99. So yeah, if you ask for 99, let's do 99.
N99. Okay, let's have a look at number 99. Thank you, YouTube user N99. Yes, we have to also apologize because on Tuesday the YouTube stream wasn't working, so we had to. We only could stream on Facebook, but now YouTube's back. So thanks for watching. Let's go 99. 99 on the list is very very nice. Yes, it is in Australia, Melbourne. It is in Cooper's Inn. It's a lovely little place. Bing. So Cooper's Inn, Australia, Melbourne precisely. I was there in 2018 for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Now, I was not booked on the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. I just happened to be in town because I had to fly my dementia-ridden grandmother to Sydney. And she was going to be there for a week with my aunt. And I was like, well, I'm here, might as well. Side story, while I was flying her to Sydney, that is the first time in a long while I have cried while watching a movie. Because some people, as you know, cry when they're in the air because of the altitude. I was watching Coco for the first time, and I started to bawl the shit out because I was like, my grandma's here, and this movie is about her not remembering, and now she can't remember. Won't she remember me? And yeah, and I started to cry, and then the flight stewardess came by and gave me more whiskey, and I was like, I'm good now. So we land, I leave Old Forgetful in Sydney, I go over to Melbourne, I go do the Cooper's Inn. Now the Cooper's Inn, I was doing it as part of the Laughing Horse team run by Alex Petty, very good man, and we had to set up the show, which was fascinating because that's where you learn about like the comedy dynamics around the world. Like at that point I was 6 years in, so I'm not a senior in any way, shape or form, I'm still on there. And you could tell like I'm the ones helping them set up the room, and like the professional comics are in the back drinking coffee and drinking beer. So you're like, okay, the hierarchy is clear. We start the show. I do okay, but before I even get on the damn stage, we notice a man has run off to the toilet, and the waiters come in and brought his meal, but he is off puking or having a fun time with his 69. So he has bought a plate of chicken parmigiana, which is a fried chicken cutlet with a bit of mozzarella and marinara sauce, puts it on the chair, not even on the damn table, on the damn chair, and the guy leaves. So you just see three comics who have to go on stage one after the other, puzzled at why in the front row they are playing to a plate of fried chicken. We all start to crowd work with said fried chicken, like, hello fried chicken, what is your name? Parmigiana, where are you from? Italy. Oh, buongiorno chicken. What do you do for a living, chicken? Oh, you're dead. It's just shit crowd work, gang. You have not lived till you have played to a plate of dead poultry. It is both revolutionary yet depressing at the same time. The show ended, and that is to date the only time I have ever been paid to do a show in Melbourne. I was very thankfully paid, and that was the time I need to get paid because I had no money. As most of these stories will end with the words, and I had no money. The rest of the stay was fun. I stayed in a friend's office, and you might learn about it because it is one of the stories on the recommended list. So let's keep it shush for now. Alright, that's the end of that story. Can we get another one, please? Can we get a recommended list and more numbers? Please follow them in, gang. Okay, each story is going about 5 minutes. I'm happy about that. We can get through a lot of stories together.
Henry Lee suggests 136.
136, okay. Thank you, Henry Lee. 136. Henry Lee on Facebook?
YouTube.
Oh, thanks, Henry Lee on YouTube. This is the problem. With Facebook, I probably know who you are. On YouTube, I'm not sure. I'm very bad with names. I'm very good with faces. The reason is because I drinks a lot, so your name is pointless to me. I'm kind of like a Google. That's why I have the book and everything. If you just ask me to remember things, I won't. But if you give me like keywords or like you met on this day, I can tell you to the point of like, hey, you're wearing what color were the lights? So example, at Cooper's Inn, the lights were purple. It was fairy lights around the corner. The Parmesan was on a, I think it was a dark, like a really navy blue plush seat. The Parmesan actually looked really good. It was a nice red color. The mozzarella was nicely toasted. 136. Oh, you chose one of the recommended list stories. Ah. Right. I am. This might not have been a good story to tell them. These, you know, some stories you're like, hey, this is epic, and some stories you're like, hey, my career could end after I tell this story. This is one of the latter. This is why you should always know your audience. This was a private gig in a condo in Singapore called the Wings of Life. This was a birthday gig. This was a two-parter birthday gig. The birthday celebration was for a lady that ran a swimsuit company, but because she was so popular and she had a lot of friends, she had two parties. She had the first party, which I did the week before, was in a KTV lounge. And I'm not sure if you've ever done comedy in a KTV lounge. It is really hard because you're trying to basically tell everyone, hey, please stop singing the songs you love and listen to me talk all the crap. Not only that, it was not just a karaoke room. This is how big it was. They had 2 pool tables in said karaoke room. I couldn't even use the mic because karaoke mic, a lot of reverb. So it was just yelling at people over a pool table while fucking Woman Ting plays in the background. Trying like, hey, crowd work, jokes, birthday girl, birthday girl's husband. She is a local Singaporean. The husband is a Jewish American, if I am not wrong, or British Jewish. I can't remember the tippity top. But very lovely couple. And they're like, hey, you did great at the karaoke. Why don't you come over to our place at the Wings of Life and do the show live for us in our living room? And I was like, I don't really want to do it. The kind of comedy has to be in a certain way. And they paid me in advance. And I was like, yeah, sure. Merry Christmas, happy birthday. Let's do whatever we can to make you happy, gal. I get to the Wings of Life. The place is fancy. They have a wine cabinet, a walk-in wine cabinet, storeroom, whatever the fuck you call it, in the main living room. They had 3 personal chefs. There was tempura, there was cheese, there was prosciutto, there was sake and whiskey and wine. And I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be a really good, a really bad gig. Now, the husband of the wife comes up to me at the start and tells me about the audience, just to give me a little bit of like a, hey, be aware of this. He tells me, hey, you know, last week that was all her friends. This week is all our friends from the synagogue. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's a Jewish celebration. Everyone here is Jewish, and we're celebrating her birthday. And I'm like, oh, I guess Japanese alcohol is kosher then, but okay. So I literally stand on the staircase and the house, start performing to everyone. It's going good. I hit my 20-minute mark. I do a good job. Corporate birthday parties in a home, that never happens. So I'm like, okay, quitting time. I did good, let's get sake. And they're like, hey, we want to hear more. Don't you all want to hear more? Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, if they pay me that much, maybe I'll get a bonus. I got greedy. Never get greedy. I was like, okay, I'll do more. And I did more and I did more. And they were like, we want to hear the dirty stuff. And I was like, I have a lot of dirty stuff. We want to hear the dark stuff. I was like, okay, let's do the dark jokes then. So I ranked the dark jokes in the order of the 4 floors of halls. So level 1 is like the weird one. Level 2 is like the decent one. Level 3 is like where you get the action. Level 4 is the crazy hookers area. So level 4 was the craziest story. Level 3, level 2, level 1. Level 3 was slightly sexist. Level 2 was racist. Level 1 was just like unusual sex joke. And level 1 they love. Level 2 they love. Level 3 they were falling off a bit. And I was like, do you guys want to hear level 4? And they were like, yeah. Now, do I do level 4? Do you all want to hear the level 4 joke, or do you guys want to just like move ahead of the story? Just curious. You can answer in the stream if you guys want to actually hear the level 4 story.
I want to hear it.
You're the moderator. I want to like let the people in the audience suggest. Audience members, do you want to hear the level 4 story? If not, we'll just move on to the story.
They do.
How many of them do? I need a fucking consensus.
2, 3?
Out of?
What? Of 2, 3? 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll need at least 6 to 7 because this was a little bit offensive. I need at least 6 7 people to agree to this because this is not like
5 people?
5. Fuck it, was good enough. Well, I can't wait to have this stream closed. Like immediately after the story is done, you're just gonna see the stream shut the fuck down. So here goes the joke. And I told people I would never live stream stand-up comedy because I think it's bullshit. Well, I guess I'm proven wrong tonight. So, I had a friend of mine who just recently came back from Africa. and he was wearing a lovely black t-shirt with the words in white, "Never forget." And I was like, "Oh, what's that about?" And he said, "Oh, Sam, it came from the Apartheid Museum. It is a t-shirt to remind us to never forget about the horrors of the apartheid." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, that's effective. We need that in our life. We need more of these souvenirs in all of these disaster museums to help us remember the tragedies." Like, imagine you go to the Anne Frank Museum and you find a button with the words, "I found her." Or you go to like the Hiroshima Museum and you get a snow globe with the ashes of the dead. Or you go to like the Slavery Museum in Louisiana, you can make your own whip. Yeah, and that's why we need these kind of Disneyland-esque souvenirs, because Disneyland makes everything better. And that's why I think it is time for Disneyland Auschwitz. Because it's just people will forget about it, the place will be fantastic. Can you imagine the haunted mansion in Disneyland Auschwitz? You know, like 6 million ghosts and they're waiting for one more. And the kids are gonna love it because all of the ghosts are around their ages. It's perfect. Now, that joke in the club already, people in the audience are like, "Oh, that's a bit farther. Auschwitz joke, children dying. It's okay, it's not that bad of a joke, but it's quite dark." Now, doing a joke about Auschwitz to a room full of Jews did not go well. The silence was as deafening as... No, that analogy, you know where the analogy was going. I'm not gonna fucking do it. The crowd is mortified. I have basically just ruined a woman's birthday by doing an Auschwitz joke about that. So I'm scrambling through my notebook like, what are the jokes? I literally throw the notebook at a lady in the audience like, "You guys asked for this," which is not what you want to tell a room full of Jews about Auschwitz. I'm like, "Hey, you pick a news joke." I find a joke that's about sexism, they fucking love it. I'm like, "Hey, good night everybody, thank you." And after the show, they're coming up to me like, "Hey, that was good." But never do a joke about Auschwitz to a room full of Jews ever again. And that's why, to this day, I am still waiting for myself to write an Auschwitz joke so good I could do it to a room full of Jews. Because that is the challenge. Also, side small story. They gave me all the cheese that nobody wanted after the party, and I went home and I got a bit of food poisoning. So it's ironic, the Jew poisoned me. So that's the story of Wings of Life. Thanks, Henry Lee, for that suggestion and ruining my career. Thank you so much. All right, can we get more numbers? Let's get the recommended up. Let's get a whole bunch of new numbers, so please type in new numbers now. Nick, let's get a number from the current list that's coming in.
Alright.
Okay. Let's get it from someone we know. Also, I need to clarify, if anyone's wondering, yes, all these stories are 100% true. If you need any verifications, I can literally point you to the people who can back up that they have seen me fail in person. Alright, let's have some numbers in this his house. Get some numbers going. We want to get a number in my face.
Christopher suggests number 26.
Which Christopher?
Oh, Christopher.
Christopher Kenji Mizuguchi?
Yeah.
Hey Chris, how's the stay home notice? If anyone wants to sleep with a half Japanese guy, he's hot. What number do you suggest?
26.
26. Sir Lil, what is number 26? Number 26, let's check the book. That's a very this is like the start of my career kind of story. 26. Ah! It's very nice. We are going off to Malaysia for this one. We are heading over to a venue that a lot of comics in Malaysia know very well. It's like the classic comics. We're heading over to PJ Live Arts. So, PJ Live Arts is basically an area in the not Putrajaya, Putongjaya. Where the fuck is PJ in again? God damn it, I thought my memory would be good. It's in the PJ area that isn't Putrajaya. I'm awaiting the Malaysians to correct me of how stupid I am in Malaysian geography, but So, it's a giant hub area. It's kind of like a best way to describe it's kind of like, I feel it's like a mini version of Clarke Quay with Esplanade. So there's a lot of restaurants and bars and pubs on the first floor, and on the second floor it's a performance space. So there's like a big theater which is about like a 300 plus seater, and there's a small theater where I perform, thank you, Petaling Jaya. Thank you, Loof. Petaling Jaya, and on the second floor there's like a big theater 300 seater, and then there's a small room called the Cabaret Room, and that is where the comedy group One Mic Stand started. That's where it got its start. I'm very sure to correct me and say someone else, but that's where I saw it start. It was a weekly show. It was an open mic, and I feel that's where the Malaysian comedy scene cut their teeth. They started there in this little small room. You would just walk through the audience to get up the stage and walk off. It was nice. It's actually, yes, it was the first place I ever performed in Malaysia. I was still a young kid. That was 2014, so I was 20 at the time. This is before all this. I used to wear neckties on stage, and I used to tuck my shirt out completely, so I looked like a really shabby, punky tween kid. At least I thought I looked like a shabby, punky tween kid, but I just looked like I got lost on my way to like a Magic School Bus convention. At the time, it was run by three amazing comedians who are still around today: Jason Leong, Carvin J, and Rizal Van Gazel. Carvin's doing his own thing. He has a live stream every day at 4 p.m. Rizal is doing his live stream at 9 p.m. And Jason Leong is having a baby. Congratulations on the little kid. Let me just double check my notes so I get this right, because this is a long time ago. I just want to make fun. Alright, so we did a lot of shows there. One of the shows we did was the United Nations of Comedy. It normally was done in a venue that is on the recommended list, but we had a one-off time where we had to do it in the PJ Live Arts, and I showed up to the show. Second row, two kids, one plump, precocious little 8-10-year-old, and one small little shy 4 to 5-year-old girl. The precocious kid the whole time is just like, yeah, comedy, yeah, we're having a good time. I'm an adult, I can laugh at the pee-pee jokes. So, as my want as an MC, I always pick on the kids first. This is a comedy too. Pick on the kids first, because people would like to ignore the kids. I want to go straight for them. I want to have the audience acknowledge them, have the parents acknowledge that, hey, we're cool with this, so everyone else in the audience will not be like, oh, there's a kid, we can't laugh at the dirty jokes. If I do a dirty joke to the parents and to the kids and they're laughing, then we're all good for the night. So I go straight for the plump, precocious kid. I'm like, hey, what's your name? He goes, I don't care. As in, I don't care. Just, Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan, how old are you? This many. And I go, this many. So I go, okay, on the count of 3, I want you to yell out your favorite swear word. And then I go, 1, 2, 3. And he just goes, fuck. And the whole crowd's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And his parents are like, why did I do this? Show was fun. Let's always pick on the kids. That show though, there was one of the acts was so drunk he bombed in set, and we had to like throw him out of the venue because he was just basically a mess in the back. Sri Ram, talking about you, sweetheart. I don't think he'll be on the stream, but if he is, hey, well, you're welcome back to comedy anytime you want. The first time I performed there was really fun because I was like the clean-cut kid, told you, that nerdy child, but then I was in Malaysia for the first time. I was a performing comedian for the first time. Carvin J was kind enough to fly me in. I was gonna perform at the Crack House Comedy Club, and I was like, I'm an adult now. I'm a rock star. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a tattoo. And I got a tattoo, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get my hair did. And I got my hair did. And I do me, not in an ebonic term, it was did. Because it was going to be a nice light perm to make it wavy and a bit of white, so it's like almost like it's a really nerdy reference, like Blackjack, you know, the anime character with the one eye patch, and he charges a lot of money and he's a little girl assistant that's in no way pedophilic. I was gonna do that. However, Malaysian hairdresser, so the perm was supposed to be in for 15 minutes. The perm was in for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I looked less like suave anime character. The hair was so crispy, I looked like fucking Eraserhead. And I had to perform on stage with that fucking white hair, with a tattoo, and like, I'm just like in pain, I'm bleeding, my hair is fucked, and I'm going, I love Malaysia. Top two kids, get one crazy thing at a time, not two. Yeah. I still like PJ Live Arts because that's where I met a very good friends who I'm friends to till this day. And I'll say him by name, but he's not gonna care because he's on another live stream with the world's oldest comedian in the world. And that is PJ Live Arts. Also, if you want to see that too, come back in week 4 of Solo Thursdays, where it's whole nights, where if you tip me a certain amount, I will literally do anything you want me to do within reason. Because I need money. Alright, let's get another story. Can we get recommended list up? And let's get some numbers flowing, gang.
There's a number that's been suggested over and over again, actually.
Okay.
Number 17.
Number 17. Ooh, someone likes them barely legal. I like it. Alright. Number 17. Ah, that's on the list over there. Alright. Nick, while I'm doing this, could you help me write down how much of our viewer count we have so I can gape in horror at it?
No problem.
Now, I like number 17 because if you look at the recommended, the word there says Sheila. Now, most people, when they pick this, they think, oh, it's gonna be about being in Australia or something. Actually, no. The story happens here, in Singapore. And the story happens not in a Australian bar, but in an Indian one. This is the story of Moshi Moshi Bollywood. Now, this is a place that is very near and dear to my heart as a comedian because it is in the basement of Cuppage Plaza. Now, why an Indian Bollywood dance bar has the name Moshi Moshi Bollywood? Well, it was really Moshi Moshi, a Japanese club. The club moved out, the Bollywood people moved in, and they were like, fuck it, let's just keep Moshi Moshi. It is efficient, so it's Moshi Moshi Bollywood. It is a dance bar in every sense of a dance bar because you will enter the room, and then the second you walk in, you see sort of a semicircle stage with chairs around the stage. The stage isn't elevated, it's on the floor, but there's like a little sort of like barrier area and a little sort of like containers underneath. And you wonder why. I'll explain why in a second. So we would do the shows. We would perform comedy, surrounded by people, and when the show was done, we would get off the stage and then exotic Bollywood dancers will come on and dance. Dance where we did comedy and get tipped by pervy Indian uncles. Here's the thing though, none of the dancers, maybe one of the dancers I saw, majority, 80% to 90% of the dancers were European. They were people in from Eastern Europe. So there's nothing weirder than seeing an Estonian woman in a sari dance to Sheila. Sheila is an Indian song going, my name is Sheila, Sheila Gita Bari, I'm too sexy for you, and it's like, there's an Estonian woman going like, in my country I had this milk. And it's like, it's fun. They were lovely, but that's the awkward thing though. Doing comedy in a place where old Indian men get their jollies off on isn't fun because near the end of the show, you'll just be on stage and you just see an Indian man just walk into the room just going, this is not the entertainment I was looking for, and just close the door very confusedly as the bouncer tries to run after him like, no, after this, come back. So it was just basically, we were the appetizer for the main course of tits. And a lot of fun stuff happened there. I met Kumar for the first time. Really grouchy thing. We had to do a show one time where we were performing in the dance Circle of Death, and I see literally a man in a uniform. Yeah, full on army fatigue uniform. But it wasn't a local army fatigue, it was international. I learned after the show because the guy who runs it used to be the army, so he has his army friends over once in a while from around the world. And this guy was a general from Myanmar. And not the, hey, it's just a guy who's in his office kind of general, like an actual fucking general. Like, I have the blood of the innocents on my hands, general. So we had to do comedy for a murderer, which is fun. Because if you kill, you're killing with the actual killer. It's not the best feeling in the world. If you do a joke and he's the only one laughing, you're like, am I wrong for that joke or is he wrong for laughing at that? It's a lot of weird dichotomy. Another time, I was doing a show, there was a man in the audience and I was doing that comedy thing that gay people do where we hit on a straight guy. Because nothing is funnier than watching a gay man hit on a straight man and trying to fuck him. I don't know why, I don't make the rules of comedy. So I go, hey, you wanna get all that? And he goes, hey, I wanna get all that. And I'm like, okay, he's playing along, that's good. I found out after the show that the guy I was playing along with, that was the assistant chief of police of the Singapore Police Force. Yeah, and he wanted my number, cause he was gonna play a little bit more with me after in a different place. Here's the thing though, the guy that was playing along, the lady next to him was his fucking wife. So the assistant chief of police was literally not calmly playing along, was hitting on me in front of the missus. I'm sorry to say, gang, I wish the story would be more interesting. I didn't sleep with him. I'm sorry, I didn't sleep with him. I thought that was wrong with me, but I would be lying if I didn't say there's like a little part of me that's going, if I slept with the assistant chief of police, I could have so much power in this town. I could put any comedian I don't like in jail because I suck the dick of the assistant chief of police. And the power of the police falls in my hand and my mouth and occasionally my buttocks. But no, instead, it's just a story now that I'm telling you. And that's Moshi Moshi Bollywood. I did dance a number of times. My knees got bruised because I was doing a snake dance. So I thought I had to be the snake, so I just danced around the girl as the snake. As my Indian friend yelled at me, "No, you Chinese idiot, she's the fucking snake!" So, yeah. Don't bring your Chinese friends to an Indian dance bar, we'll fuck it up. Alright. Let's see what time we're... Okay, we're doing really good. I think we've done like 6 stories. We are doing really fun with it. So, once again, I'm gonna plug it because I need to plug it. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's only $3. That's the minimum and the maximum you can tip. That's the only thing you're allowed to. I've capped it because we all poor. If you can't have the money to tip, just like this stream and share this stream and watch all the other streams and enjoy yourself. That's all I can ask. Alright, let's get my friend the recommended list. Come up, Betty. Oh, look at it in all its shitty design glory. It's just a white piece of block and transparency and something on a font called Caviar Dreams, which is the same font I used to make my first ever video game, which is still available on Congregate, called Edo. You can find Edo. It's a terrible game. I was just testing out the mechanics of like a management sushi style game. It isn't good, gang. I'll be the first one to tell you. But if you're interested, go to Congregate, find Edo, E-D-O. It's available there. Alright, can we get some numbers in his house? Can we? Can we, audience? Hello, audience, can we get the numbers? I'm actually getting a bit of a sore throat from yelling at this. Sore throat from yelling, not from COVID. Just want to put it out there.
Henry Lee suggests number 16.
Henry Lee already had one. I'm gonna give someone else.
After that is Kevin 107.
Which Kevin?
Kevin Couchar.
Oh, hey, what number did he want?
What?
What number did he want?
107.
107. Thanks, Kev. I'll see you in the realms later. I'm playing Minecraft with him and some friends. I built this very nice house. There's 2 stories. There's a garden roof. Yeah, I'm back in Minecraft, bitches. 107, right?
Yep.
107. What is number 107? Let's have a checkity check, gang. Ling T. Get it right? Ling T. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. We are going to a brand new country we've not been to yet. It's the Philippines, Manila, in a place called Bugsy. It's quite a simple gig. The story of what happened before the gig is more interesting, but let's get to the gig first. The gig is in the Makati region in the Philippines, Manila. Makati is basically it's like Sentosa on land of the Philippines. It is swank, it is gorgeous, everyone there is rich, the pavements are finished. It's very swank for the Philippines. That is the last show we do there. We weren't even supposed to do this gig. The only reason we did this gig was the previous 2 gigs we did in Manila weren't that good. Because the promoters weren't that good. Looking at you, Chino. We did a show in a 200-seater with 5 people. One of the people was the manager at the hotel we were staying in, which was a sex hotel, which we were trying to repurpose as a family hotel. Which I'm like, well, after sex, family. So this was like basically the apology gig, like we're sorry we didn't book you that well, so come to our gig. Me and my tour partner Justin Hayes at the time, we were like, yeah, why not? So we show up, we go do the gig. It is in a restaurant. It is a traditional Filipino style, where it is the audience are having dinner, and then we show up and go, hey, comedy! And they go, we didn't come for this. And we go, we didn't ask you for permission, and we do comedy to their faces and hope they laugh. Now, I'm opening the show, but here's the problem. The show is in Tagalog, which is like the local Filipino language or equivalent of Tagalog, and I don't speak no Tagalog. So I'm basically going, hey, welcome to the show. Yes, it is a Tagalog comedy show, but I'm in English, so I'm opening the show in English before you guys will listen to all the comedians you can 100% understand. I'm just here as a tester. If you can survive my set, you can get to the good shit. I am the trials of Hercules. I am the 9 minutes you must suffer through before you get some of the best comedians in all of the Philippines. So I do the gig, I do fine. It's interesting when you have to do a show for 100% of the people where English isn't their first language and they're trying to be polite, but they don't know what sodomy means, so you're trying to explain sodomy to a room full of confused Filipino diners. I do fine, Justin Hayes bombs. We have a good show. But let's rewind the clock, gang. I told you, story isn't here. Story's before this. We are there at, I believe, the CBS ABS Studios, which is like the top TV studio in the Philippines. And we're on the set of It's Showtime. I believe we have a comment. I want to know what the comment said.
You don't want to know.
Say it.
I'll take a picture and show you later.
Is it from someone I know?
Yep.
Is it someone I don't like?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. You're gonna tell me now. Now I'm curious.
It was a message from Aiden.
Ah, what does he say?
Where's the projector? Oh yeah, Scott sold it.
If you pick the Mary Lion number, I will tell you how shit all of the directors have been, including Aiden Killigan. Suck it, Aiden. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, director boy? Huh? You're in Ireland. I's here. What are you gonna do? You Irish fuck. What you gonna do? Moderator, come back. I need to know if he says anything. My moderator has left. This is turning into a disaster. I want to tell the story about Bugsy.
Let's continue with Bugsy.
Okay, we'll continue with Bugsy and then we'll turn our attention to Aiden Killigan. Fucking. No. I love him, by the way. He's a great friend. He's actually one of the other people who runs the Mary Lion here. We're just fucking around. So, back to Bugsy. So, we are Philippines top, Manila's top TV station. We are on the set of It's Showtime. This is basically like their SNL of sorts, but it's mainly for comedy and all that. So this is like the biggest comedy show. And me and Justin just had time to kill. So they say, hey, do you want to show up? And we do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Both of us were preparing like, what if we get to go on and we get to do stand-up in front of the Filipino audience? Didn't happen. It wasn't a filming day. It was a pilot day. So we got to watch a pilot for a new segment / comedy show that they had planned. And here's the show. They invite 5 hot women, and they are sequestered behind a screen. A comedian will then go on stage and then do their comedy routine, and the 5 women will decide if he is funny or good looking enough or charming enough to get a date. After that, the remaining women who have said yes, the comic will then look at the woman and then pick which one he wants, like it's a fucking harem. It was, I think, Love and Laugh was the name of the show. And it was surreal to just see 5 of the hottest looking Filipino models just go there and pretend to laugh. Because they know all the comics, so they've heard all the jokes before. All of the comics that they were dating, or either attached or married, so they don't give a shit. It was fascinating, because you get to see behind TV production. They were like, what are the women were on the stage, what are the women were behind screens, what are the women could shoot them down. They ran a whole rigmarole. It's like you kind of peeled the curtains back from behind The Bachelor, but you realize it's like the low rent version of The Bachelor. And I learned something very important that day, that, hey gang, comedy doesn't really get you laid unless you're good looking already. Take it from me, I've never been laid at a show. So don't go to the Philippines and appear on a comedy dating show. It ends in tears. So that's the end of Story of Bugsy. We're gonna pause this because now I want to see what the fuck Aiden's saying now.
Oh, he hasn't said anything.
I'm pretty sure he just came in, told me to fuck off, and then did that.
Basically.
Yeah. Aiden, if you're still in the stream, let us know. If not, we're gonna talk shit about you. So this motherfucker, no, I'm not gonna do it. Pay me $3 on Hall Night and I'll tell you the whole fucking all the big story about him. He has a tiny penis.
Anyway.
Just a wee little, like a wee French fry. Just bendy, covered in salt. Dip it in ketchup or chili, whichever your fucking joy juice is. So, recommended lists and numbers. Let's get going, gang. I have no problems in my life.
Mario suggests.
Hey, Mario.
164.
164. Thank you, Mario. Oh, this is on the recommended list, isn't it?
Yep. Godmother.
Ah. Now, I need to preface this story with just get the name of it, because this is not a name of this venue is not a local language. It's not a local language, so I need to write it down. I played this venue last year, and last year, September last year. And if you're wondering why I'm starting with when I played this, you will understand why, because the venue I played was Santeria Toscana in Milan. Now, this is before COVID happened. I am COVID free, I think. I hope. I wish and pray it might come true. I wasn't supposed to get this gig. I was on tour with Joanna Seo, a fantastic comedian from Hong Kong. Hopefully also watching the stream. Hey Joanna, if you are. I was with her. So we were going to do a bunch of countries in Europe. However, I got a call out of the blue that was like, hey, do you want to headline our club in Milan? And I was like, sure, why not? It didn't really pay much, but it paid me just enough for me to be curious because I've never been to Milan. I was excited because I was like, Milan is like city of fashion and pizzazz and all the whoop diggity hoop dog, whatever the fuck that means. So I fly there in a jet that is white. Literally, the plane is white. No markings, no branding, just a whole white plane. It is terrifying to look at. We land, I get a chauffeur who has so kindly written my name on a piece of paper in marker pen and of course spelled it wrong because I am a star. It is not a long gig. Basically, I land at 8, I go to the gig, I fly off at 4 in the morning. It's like a touch and go kind of show. I get to the gig, it's a Santeria Toscana. It's beautiful. It's like this giant dining hall and a stage in a far corner. It's not the most conducive for comedy, but it's nice. The insulting thing was that this dining hall was basically like the sort of like the F&B area for the main theater, which is inside. But we didn't sell enough tickets to go inside. So we were outside, directly next to the entrance of the theater. Like a reminder, like, hey, if you were more popular and more famous, you could be there. But no, you're here next to the dishwasher. The first fucking thing I get to the gig, I'm talking to the comics at the back. We have a little side room with lovely Italian beer and Italian snacks. I walk out, I walk amongst the audience. I like to do that because I like to see who's there, get a feel of the room, hear what they're talking. One of the ladies literally come up to me and go, oh, are you the dishwasher? And I was like, I guess, is this a routine? I'm like, no, I'm the comedian. And she went, oh, I thought you were the dishwasher because you were Chinese. I'm like, thank you? Like, I don't know if she's trying to do like a joke or she's trying to be racist. That's the problem. Hey, punters at comedy shows, please don't try to joke of us with things like that because we don't know if you're just trying to have a laugh or you're genuinely bigoted. It confuses the fuck out of us. I meet 2 more racists with stories that I'm not going to get into because they're way too fucking racist. The show begins. And the show, to my horror, is entirely in Italian. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be the same as the Bugsy gigs, where English isn't their first language, but they have a rudimentary understanding of English to laugh at jokes. Here's the problem. They don't have a rudimentary understanding of English. They don't know English good. Their English is not good. It is bad. It is like, I'm trying to talk to them off stage and they don't understand a fucking word I am saying back. So I'm not sure how to approach my set. So people that have seen me around the world know that I speak differently. In Singapore, this is my speed when I talk on stage because I'm at home, people can understand my speed, so I can go a bit faster, although I admit, I need to go slower with my comedy. If I go to the UK, I'll slow it down a little bit more, put a bit more emphasis on certain words, and take more time to tell them. In America, I speak even slower because the accent's a lot harder to hear, and I go for a slightly more Americanized twang when I talk. In Milan, this was the speed I was doing the comedy in. Hi, I'm from Singapore. Singapore is a country. I wasn't trying to be rude to the people of Milan, but I was talking at retard speed. It was not intentionally, it was just the only speed they could actually listen to the words, absorb it, and then translate it into jokes. Didn't mean to do it that speed, but that's what worked. Also, the guy who brought me onto stage promised me, hey Sam, before you go on, I'm gonna do a few jokes in English and then bring you on stage. I'm like, okay, thank you for resetting the room. I had to, because the guy who went on before me was not just doing it in a full set in Italian, not only was he killing in Italian, like murdering, the guy also had a Netflix special that was the top 3 fucking watch shows in Italy that year. Not even top 3 specials, the top 3 things to watch in Italy, that fucker's going on before my jackass, who at the time had just been fucking interviewed for fuck all. So I'm like, ah shit. The guy goes on, that was on an Italian, goes, here's a joke in English. Guy to a girl walk into a bar. The bartender says, hey, why don't you speak Italian? And then continues in Italian. He did one joke that was shit. And then he brings me up in Italian. Now here's the thing. I don't know what Italian is for. Please welcome to the stage all the way from Singapore, Sam C. So I'm just at the side of the room just waiting for oh shit, not done. Sam C, oh fuck, that's me! And trying to run on stage. The show goes good. The thing about people in Milan, they don't laugh, they clap. So if you do a good joke, you don't you just start clapping. Which throws off your timing because they're clapping at punchlines. Which doesn't help because my timing is already, and the dog said bark, and the cow goes, and they're clapping and just waiting to say moo, and they're not stopping, and you're trying to say moo, and they clap even louder, and then you go moo, and then they clap even more, and you feel really good, but also very confused at your life choices. The show ends, it goes great. A guy literally told me that was one of the best shows I've seen in English, and 2 weeks ago, and this is in September, I watched Louis C.K. So this is after the allegations of all the jerking off stuff, because he went to Milan. So, Louis C.K., if you are watching this stream, one guy thought I was funnier than you. His opinion doesn't matter. You're still funny, although he's kind of weird about the jerky thing. After the show, we go to the back, and the guy's like, hey, Sam, thank you so much for doing it in English. I know it was hard, but you did great. To commemorate this, I want you to sign a picture of the godmother of Italian comedy. And I was like, oh, damn, yeah, sure. I mean, it's weird, I'm signing someone else's picture, but I'm happy to. I'll be honored to be part of the Italian comedy tradition. Now, what I expected was like a woman from the 1920s or 30s, like a crazy hat woman, or like a Joan Rivers of Italy. What I saw was a picture from 2010-ish of Aubrey Plaza. Yeah, the girl from Parks and Recs. You know, the sort of like the stone. What's the name of the girl from Parks? Like the character's name, whatever her name. April from Parks and Recs. Yeah, who is not Italian. Not Italian. No. Also, not a stand-up comedian. Doesn't do stand-up. So there I am in Milan, signing a picture of Aubrey Plaza, the godmother of Italian comedy. Aubrey Plaza, if you're watching, they love you in Milan. That's the story of Santa Via, Toscana. I left there with beer, laughs, and no COVID. Alright, we've got time for about one more story, I think, and then we're gonna call it quits for the night. Alright, so this is the last one. So guys, just shove all the numbers you can find in there. Give a nice one. If I know the story, the number you pick is not good, I'm gonna ask for another one because I want to end, as they say in comedy, end on a high. Has Aiden returned yet?
Nope. But Joanna says hi.
Hey Joanna! I mentioned you just now. Sorry I burped. I'm drinking beer and I'm talking a lot. I'm so sorry.
We have 55.
55, alright, let's have a check. 55. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show so far. Could we get another number? 55's a bit.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Oh, nice. Sorry, not to put down the person that put 55. 55 is more like a middle of the show story. It's like a nice, quick, like one, not really like a hey, let's take it home, gang kind of story. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can do this one.
Cool.
We can do this. So this is the last one. Thank you guys so much for suggesting all your numbers. This is the last story before we leave. Our final story takes place in Singapore, and before I tell you, it's a button. You can't click it. You literally have to type the fucking words in. But if you want to give me some money, I'd really appreciate it. My camera you paid for this costs a lot. I got to pay the moderator. He costs a lot of money because he's a poor boy.
I am a poor boy.
He is. Hear the voice of the trembling moderator. He needs money.
Such a poor boy.
Say it in a sadder voice, moderator.
Such a sad boy.
You sounded like you're having anal sex, moderator.
I am. Just behind the camera.
Yeah, that's how I get this show going. I just have my moderator have sex while I tell stories about Aubrey Plaza in Milan. Folks and friends, our last story takes place in Singapore, in the corporate offices of TransferWise. Now, I need to preface this by saying I am in no way paid by TransferWise. I am in no way affiliated with TransferWise. But TransferWise is a fucking great app to transfer money. Holy shit, it helps so much. Oh, it's a lot better than all the other transfer money apps. Wink. I can't say them out loud because I've also get paid to use them. Wink. But they fucking good. They've got a card as well. It's great. Okay, advertisement over. Skip. So I do a gig there with Singapore's only Russian comedian, Arthur Akhmadzyanov, whom after 2 years I finally learned how to spell his last name. It's not an easy last name to spell. He is currently on the shelf. He has a broken clavicle. But go find his stuff online. He has his full hour out online. So go look for Singapore Russian comedian, because he actually works in Google, like he works in SEO. So he found a way to push his name to the top of Singapore Russian comedian. After the show, don't go now, assholes. Stay for the story, then go find the Russian. Alright. So I go do the gig. TransferWise, being the fun company they are, they don't go to like a big fancy banquet for their year-end dinner party. They don't go to some sort of restaurant of fanciness and foie gras. They go to the pantry in their office, which is nice, but it's not really the best conducive place to do comedy. Also, there is a gender fluid, gender queer person who is the event organizer. So they've gone fucking full ham. When you put a queer person in charge of a party, we go crazy. So the theme of the party is, I believe, party in the heavens, or party in the clouds. The dress code is ethereal whites and resplendent gold, which is words only gay and queer people know of. We get in, the ceiling is covered wall to wall, ceiling to ceiling, with all these glittery, shiny balloons. This big sized person with gorgeous makeup just goes, "Oh, hello, darlings, you're here, come on in, we're going to do the show now." And we show up, it's a bunch of people there who never watched stand-up comedy before. It's terrifying. I go out first, I start in my national form, I start roasting everybody. I shit on TransferWise, I shit on the people there, I shit on the genderqueer person. I'm like, really? You chose this? And nobody knows what ethereal white is. We have to die before we learn what ethereal white is. And because it is an Estonian country, I actually wrote some Estonian jokes. I didn't use a single one of them because we didn't need to. We're having such a good time with the just joking around. I have some Estonian jokes. Let me go find my Estonian. Yeah, would you guys like to hear some Estonian jokes? You don't have a choice, gang. It's the last story. You're gonna have to hear it anyway. You guys in Estonia have a guy called Kalevipug who throws stones and talks to hedgehogs. He is a hero to all stand-up comedians because a guy who throws stones and talks to hedgehogs must be a stoner. Ha 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 ha. You see why I didn't do the jokes? Another one. Did you guys know Estonia was the first country in the world to have their elections online? The second country was Russia in the American elections. Ha 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 ha. Hacking joke. What else we have? There is a sport in Finland called wife carrying, but every year the Estonians go there and win the competition. They are so good at it that SMRT are now using them for when the trains break down. Ha ha! Money! I want it! Great jokes! Yeah, mainly all that kind of shit. And the show is good. Arthur goes up, he murders. It is so easy for a Russian to murder in Estonia. 2 Estonians. Of course he'll murder there. The show goes good. And it was so nice because Arthur came up to me after the show and, "Hey, thanks Sam, I don't ever get corporates, no one ever books me because he's an expat and most of the local guys will not recommend the expat." So he's like, "Hey, it's a good time." And really made a good friend that day in Arthur because we were just sitting around bitching about everything, taking down the food and watching, as I shit you not, their Secret Santa was, instead of, "Hey, we exchange gifts," it was, "We're gonna put all the gifts in a pile, you all stand at one side of the room, and when we blow the whistle, you will all run and try to grab the present you want." Nothing is funnier than watching the entire finance team of TransferWise attempt to run and fail because they're in finance, try to steal presents for each other, as a gay Chinese man and a Russian laughs at them and goes, "You should have booked that for the comedy section." Gang, that's the story of TransferWise. And that is Jagged Road. Thank you guys so much for taking part and taking in the stream. Thank you guys so much. We're trying this out. I'm trying this out as well. This is show 2 of the 14 shows we are going to be streaming live out of the Merry Lion for the entire month of April. We're on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesdays is our quiz panel show called No Right Answers, where I ask comedians simple questions and we watch them fail miserably. I can now reveal to you who are the comedians on this Tuesday show. Jackie Ng returns because he was the winner of last week. We'll be joined by 2 brand new contestants. We're going to have Eugene So on the show, as well as Darren Fong of the Latecomers, who's going to be on, an improviser. Will he beat the comedians? We'll find out. Next Thursday, Solo Thursdays, me and you again. What is the show going to be about? I don't know. Haven't figured it out yet. But come around. It's going to be weird and wacky. And Saturday I'm actually really proud of. We are running a wrestling RPG, a tabletop RPG. We have 4 comedians and sometimes special guests going to come in, and they're going to role play and roll dice and pretend to be professional wrestlers in the world of red dot wrestling. It is amazing, it is stupid, it is fun. Babies will be involved. Fake babies, not real ones. You will roll to see who gets the takedown. And it's on Saturday. All the shows are at 8:30. As always, if you like this, please consider leaving a tip. We really appreciate it and we need it to sort of get through the month. If you can't, don't worry. Just like and share this so everyone else can join in on the nonsense. That's all we have to say. It's coming close to 10. If you guys are still in the mood for more live streaming, please go over to Prakash Daniel's page. Prakash Daniel of Malaysia. He's running his show at 10 to 11. Go over there, have a listen. If not, I hope to see you Saturday or at one of our other streams. That was Solo Thursday. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Samsy. Have a good night. Nick, take it away.